eastern Ukraine and you stop the war. Yeah, that's probably the big deal. Under table deals, probably because if you do not offer anything, the war is never stop.
You mean Russia is not a reliable
Yes.
No, it won't. Russia wants Russia.
You know,
So, yeah, but
Russia lost 500,000 soldiers in the Ukraine wars. 500,000 soldiers. So that's why North Korea sent the troops to help the Russia because they lose too much military personnel. The manpower, the lack of the manpower. They lose too much soldiers in the Ukraine war. So that is North Korea send the soldiers to help the Russia in the Ukraine wars. Even the next step, they will ask China send the troops, send the military, the armies to the Russia to support them, because Russia already lose 500,000 people is soldiers in the Ukraine war. If United States do not offer anything to ask Russia to stop the war, it's impossible. It's impossible. Russia should pay. Yeah.
Pro Russia or pro Ukraine?
Oh, I pro Ukraine.
Ukraine.
I pro Ukrainians. But but if United States want to stop the wars, they must offer something. What's their offer? Eastern Ukraine. At least the area was occupied by the Russia already.
That's shit though, isn't it?
Yes,
Really shit.
that's a 15% of the about the 10% of the 50% of the whole territory of the Ukraine. Yeah, you must offer some things. Yeah.
Why would we expect that?
It's a decision of a nation.
It's not up to the
decision of a
nation.
nation. If Ukrainians want to,
You know, the small countries, weak countries, you cannot decide your things by yourself.
Yeah.
Always the big countries decide your things. Like Ukraine will decide it by the United States and Russia, and the Ukraine government do not involve inside. You know, that's why I tell you another thing. The Gaza land is a gift. Gaza, the people was sacrificed because that Gaza was supported by the Iran supported by the China. So the Gaza was a gift to Israel. Why they give them the gift? Because they have too much pressure in the Ukraine wars. They give the Gaza land to the Israel, let Israel to go to the United States to lobby United States stop the financial support and the weapon support to the Ukrainians. Those small weak countries, they cannot decide their destiny, their things by themselves.
for example, Georgia, these countries, small countries. You mean Georgia, Armenia.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I talk about. The two big countries was compete together each other.
But when they are in the club of NATO, they are safe, my brother. They are safe. Look at in Europe, it's safe.
Why would I be
Europe is safe. Put yourself in. Look at
Let me tell you. Yeah, I'm telling you that if Russia occupy Ukraine, the first type the Ukraine, the next type is Poland.
No.
The next type.
I'll tell you. Can I?
No,
There's no.
they will revive. They will restore the Soviet bloc. Do you know Soviet bloc?
I agree. I know.
Soviet bloc was in the Eastern German. Eastern German is not stopped in Ukraine. Eastern
I
German.
agree. But let's think logically.
Yeah.
If Poland is part of NATO, which means if Russia were to attack Poland, it means NATO would have to be involved. Russia, in my opinion, has shown no interest in Poland as it is today. Never. In the past 2 decades, 3 decades, it never stated once come out and said, Poland's our target.
You are right.
It's too late.
You are right.
So
the Poland was under the protect of the NATO mutual defendants, the policies.
It won't happen.
But you know, if Russia have the backed by the China, backed by the Iran, backed by the whole Iran, Russia, North Korea, China, they are big groups. Russia, if there is another wars happen, like in Asia, they have the Taiwan Strait Wars. In Middle East, they have the fully conflict between Israel and Iran, and then Russia can attack Poland. You know, they have the different theaters, Asia theaters, Middle East theaters, and Europe theaters. Russia will do that because of they do not do that alone. They do it alone is very dangerous, very dangerous. But they will like the other people, other countries to start the war against at the same times. Like China have the war with the United States in Taiwan, and Iran have the war against Israel in the Middle East, and then Russia will have the war against Poland. Your NATO is the 32 members, right? But the 32 members is not big enough have the war against three major military power: Russia, China, and Iran. Can you do that?
No.
Can you do that? The NATO have the same times the war against three military major power. Those power is very powerful.
You're basically
So
talking a nuclear
we will do that.
It will be a nuclear apocalypse. I think everyone knows China, Russia, Iran, the US.
Yeah.
They all know that they don't want this war. They don't want the superpowers. That's why it's always proxy wars. You'll never see them having a war directly.
You're right.
Because-
Proxy wars is a good ways.
Because of the nuclear threat. No one wants to deal with the nuclear threat, whether it's China.
Yeah.
That's why
Russia.
America is not physically in Ukraine, but they support the Ukrainian army with money and funds. They don't want to fight Russia directly.
Yeah, proxy wars is the best ways to deal with great powers. But you know, I will talk about the nuclear wars. If two countries they compete each other, they war against each other, they are not to seek the destroy at the same times. They don't want to destroy both. They want to get more interest. They get more interest. So that is, they do not use the nuclear war. Even they will get limited. They will get limited. They don't to use the ballistic missile. They use the tactical missile, the small capacity nuclear weapon. You know, small capacity nuclear weapons. Technique nuclear weapons is a very small ones. Yes, like a big bomb. Big bomb.
But then what
Yeah.
happens to the motor? NATO's motor. If any country is attacked, that means the whole
Yeah.
NATO country.
That's why it won't happen.
They will
That's why.
They will deter each other. They do not want to destroy each others. They want to get more interest.
That's why-
Get more interest.
That's why I see.
That's why. You know.
That's why I see Ukraine and Georgia, countries that aren't in NATO as of today, are the only places where this is the maximum table.
I give you an example why there is no nuclear war. Even they have the nuclear wars. That is the territory, the regional nuclear wars. In 1950 to 1953, it's the Korea Wars. In that times, China sent troops to help the North Korea to almost defeat United States armies. But in that times, United States won't use the nuclear bomb to attack China. But in that times, the United States President Truman said, "Stop! We don't do that." Why? Why they don't do that?
Because they don't want
Because-
nuclear war with Russia.
The Soviet Union had
In that times, China do not have the nuclear weapon.
They have nuclear weapons.
So-
No,
the Soviet Union.
China, Soviet Union have the nuclear weapon, but China do not have. China do not have the nuclear weapon. Even in that times, they do not use the nuclear weapons. But even in that times, I believe in Ukraine wars, they already use small capacity nuclear weapon already. They already use small.
There's no evidence. Huh?
No evidence. We cannot get the evidence. The people living in that place already killed. The people, if you see the nuclear weapons, you already die. No one give you evidence for that nuclear weapons.
Radiation.
Yeah,
Radiation evidence.
yeah. If you go over there to take the radiations, you die. You die.
Special suit.
Yeah, yes, that's why. But that's the peace conditions.
Yeah.
They're peaceful over there. But there's a war over there.
That's what.
You cannot go there. Yes. So I believe that in the Ukraine war, they already use a small capacity nuclear weapon. Tactical weapons already. It's already. So,
I think it would be game over for Ukraine if that would happen. It would. I know for a fact that would not happen. It's as simple as that. Because if that happened, I guarantee you the UK, the US would have publicized that in their news because that's
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And it's for me it's right now.
But
as it is today, it's impossible.
now,
If you
Trump become the next president of the United States, everything's unpredictable. Everything's unpredictable. In the next 4 years, I believe after the Trump government, the next president of the United States, they will support the Ukraine. But the Trump probably they will concede. They will offer some things to the Russia.
yeah, they will offer.
They will offer Russia and stop the wars,
But I think
and
Trump will-
then Russia gets the chance
I think
to resume.
I agree. I agree.
You will resume. You know, Russia they already suffer a lot. They lose a lot of the people. They lose a lot of money in the Ukraine war. They need the time to resume, restore.
Ukraine by force.
Ukraine is what?
Yes.
Ukraine, yes.
Yeah, Ukraine have the
This is what happens in war. You are forced to mobilize for your country. Yeah.
But at this time, if the Ukraine war stop, ceasefire agreements are signed, it's good for Russia. It's not good for the Ukraine. Ukraine should be continuing the wars because Russia was already tired of the Ukraine wars. If they continue the wars, they must get more. There is a risk for the Russia. If the war lasts next 2 years or 3 years, Russia's economy will become the dependent of the country of the China. Dependent country of China. They will totally dependent on the China's financial support and weapon support. That's a big problem for the Russian people. They don't want Russia to not want become the dependent country of the other countries.
Can I say, people have been saying that since the start of this war. People have said from the first year that they said, a lot of rumors now, Putin's going to die by the end of this year. Oh, Russia's already a puppet for China. People have been saying that from day one. But we haven't seen any of that come through. People have been saying Russia's going to fail economically forever now. They've done really well against the sanctions. Didn't you establish that? The issue with Ukraine is how much is Russia's population? How much is Ukraine's population? Who's going to outlast you? We know for a fact
More human resources.
Russia is definitely going to outlast Ukraine. So
Yes.
the longer this lasts for Ukraine, and we're already seeing the signs now, their army is crumbling. The army is crumbling for Ukraine.
Yeah.
If the next,
So that's okay.
if this stays another 2 years,